Hi, this is Elwin Robinson, founder of Line Up Herbs. I'm here to talk to you now about one of my favourite herbs, which is Siberian Ginseng. Okay, this is the Line Up Herbs version. So Siberian Ginseng is a root which was first discovered, as it says, in Siberia, right, northern Russia. Its Latin name is Eleuthro Root, and its pinyin name is Si-wu-jia. However, I always get told off about the pronunciation for this from my Chinese friend. Anyway, so what's it for? First of all, it tonifies the spleen and lung qi, right? So what does that mean? It's going to be powerful for digestion, right? As well as oxygen utilization, which are the keys to qi, or literal physical energy, also ATP production, right? So in that way, it's quite appropriate to the environment it grows in, where a lot of the time it's quite difficult to get enough food, and where often the air quality is a little bit off because many of the areas where it grows are quite high up, right? So there's less oxygen, so it increases your ability to utilize that nutrients and the oxygen. It also nourishes yin and yang jing, right? Which relates a lot to your ability to adapt. And for that reason, it's also very famously known as an adaptogen. It also helps your healing, recovery, endurance, that kind of thing. And then lastly, it harmonizes Shen, right? And this relates to the ability to stay cool, stay calm, stay focused, stay centered, right? And grounded, rather than maybe being pulled all over the place by the exterior conditions, or just having lots of inner tension and inner turmoil, right? It's about being peaceful and in harmony, and practical benefits of that would be things like having better relationships, being able to sleep better and more easily, and feeling more at peace within yourself, right? Savvy people who know a little bit about the Taoist system will recognize there that that's all three treasures. And yeah, that's right. Siberian Ginseng is one of the very few herbs in the world, right? There's literally thousands and thousands of herbs in the Chinese pharmacopoeia. There's a handful that tonify all three treasures, right? Siberian Ginseng is one of them, very powerful. Now, there are, however, several other herbs, a couple of other dozen that do that. So what is Siberian Ginseng especially for? So it's especially for stress, right? So it helps you to adapt. That's one of the main things it does. And so that relates to the second point there, thriving in extreme conditions. So especially external stress, right? So extreme heat or extreme cold, right? Or extreme wind, those kind of environmental factors, really excellent for adapting to those kind of stresses particularly, although all stress in general as well. Really good for endurance. Again, if you're in those kind of harsh environmental conditions, right, your endurance needs to be high. You need to not be the kind of person who gives up very easily, or who falters, or who gets ill very easily, right, which relates to immunity as well. So this is a herb that allows us to endure difficulties, right? And that also keeps our strength, that protects the what the Taoists call Wu Qi, which is this protective layer which surrounds the body and keeps infectious agents out, right? And so Siberian Ginseng, great for that. And then lastly, for energy as well, right? Give you a quick energy boost. A good time of day to have Siberian Ginseng would be first thing in the morning, or during the day. Probably, even though it is a harmonizer and a relaxer and it's a reducer of stress, it does give you a little bit of an energy kick. So I probably wouldn't recommend having it just before bed. I'd recommend having it in the morning or during the day. And how would you prepare it? Very simple with this kind of herbal extract powder. All you do is open it up, take out a teaspoon, put it in a cup, add some hot water, add sweetener if desired, and drink it. It really is as simple as that. You can do it otherwise. You can set it to cold water, but then it won't dissolve completely. You can put it in smoothies and juices and food and whatever you like, or even have it on its own. But in a tea is the traditional way of using it. So if that sounds good to you, those are the kind of things that you are dealing with, those are the kind of things that you want to be better at, then I'd highly recommend getting some Siberian Ginseng. And if you're going to get some, I would definitely recommend getting it from Line Up Herbs, where we have the highest quality products at the most affordable prices.